Hello and welcome to a Google Hangout session with Aric and Joel. We're going to cover a few things, but Joel, I'm going to start. We on Twitter from I'm going to get his name wrong here. KC Stein. So he's at the letter K, the letter C Stein. Had a question.
Yep.
He says I heard Joel say he ran an off the couch 100-miler. Explain zero training, minimal training, long taper. So I'm going to let you take that, Joel. What did you mean by off the couch 100?
Well, I've done it twice. I think the first time I did it, I tried to do it at Wasatch in 2011, and I had really minimal training over the summer, and I really paid for it. I only made mile 75. I did tear my meniscus on that run. So for me, off the couch means minimal training. For some other people, it is like literally off the couch, like no training at all. I think a long taper means that you've actually trained for it. I think last year when I did Zion, it was close to off the couch. I'd done Monument Valley. So I had one long run in before the race, but I didn't have a whole lot of mileage. If I go back and look at my Strava data, my longest, up until then, it was only up until Monument Valley, probably maybe 15 miles.
So 15 mile into the off the couch average mileage for that 100.
Average mileage is probably 30 miles a week at the most.
Okay. So when you mentioned off the couch, it's like very minimal training.
I think so. That's how I would define it. Really, really minimal.
And that's coming off a winter. Didn't really do a whole lot long, heavy mileage through the winter.
No, definitely not. Not last winter, or not the winter before.
Okay.
This winter, definitely not.
So I think for KC Stein on what Joel's saying is very minimal training, and maybe the long run would be a 15-miler.
Right. I think, for this year going into Bryce, my long run will be when we go up to Smut and do that. That's going to be, 38 miles?
Yeah, something
so
like that.
That'll be my long run going into that. We'll do Timp this weekend. That'll be 26 miles, and that's got, 5,000 feet of climbing. And then a couple weeks later, we'll do Smut. So this one won't be that traditional off-the-couch type of definition that I use.
Okay. Well, then the other thing we wanted to talk about, and I hope that answers your question, KC or Kurt. But another thing we want to talk about is we just recorded our next podcast. It was a live show, and I'm telling you what, this one was full of awesome info, fun stuff, and just kind of mind-boggling information, really.
Yeah, so how long was that? That was like an hour, 20 minutes we did today with
a little over an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah, with a local guy here out of Utah. His name's Aric Johnson. Kind of run all over the country, and kind of one of the focal points of this, one of the big topics was his 1,000-mile Iditarod run.
And that's really hard to wrap your mind around, especially when you're listening to him describe it. That's what I was blown away about. Because he'd be like, "Oh yeah, mile 700, I have this feeling," and you're just like, "Mile 700, really?"
Yeah, right. I didn't feel so good at mile 550, but I knew I was over halfway there.
Yeah, that was amazing. So definitely look forward to that next week, folks. That thing's going to be amazing.
Yeah, and that's coming out on the date would be the 24th. So, I think so. Yeah, May 24th. And then the other quick thing we wanted to hit on is we wanted to kind of go over a couple products that we've been trying and beginning to try, I should say. So first, Joel, I'll let you start with the shoe.
Yeah, so I've been running into this shoe right here. This is the Pearl Izumi N3. This is the road version. Now, I went with the road version because Aric and I still do have a relationship with Pearl Izumi, and we do get discounted shoes. In the past, I haven't liked them. Even though we had a discount with them, I didn't like them at all. And this year, they finally put this shoe out, and I really like it. I'm running a lot. It's super lightweight shoe. It does have, I guess, like right here, it's supposed to have like a 4 mil drop. And then I think as you progress through the shoe, it's supposed to have like a 7 mil drop. I really can't tell the difference. It's got that dynamic offset. It does have a nice rocker feature. I really like that. At first, I was a little apprehensive about putting a lot of miles in on that thing on the trail because it is in the forefoot here. It's pretty soft. Gets a little washed out. Rigidity-wise, there's not a whole lot of rigidity there. So I'm really apprehensive to run fast downhill in it, but I'm getting used to it. My style of running is changing a little bit compared to, say, when I've got my Hokas on. And when I got my Hokas on, I can just kind of bowl over everything. With this, I got to be a little bit more mindful where I'm placing my feet. But I'm digging it. I'm loving it. I'm going to take it this weekend to Temp. I'm going to try it on Temp. And if I do well at Temp, I'm going to take it to Smut. And then if it does well at Smut, I'm going to take it to Bryce and run it in Bryce.
Yeah. So here's the trail version of the N3.
Yep.
So it's got obviously a different outsole to it. Look, is definitely, I think, more rigid than what you were showing with the shoe itself. So I think it is a little bit beefier for the trail. So why did you go ahead and do the road version instead of the trail version since you're on the trail?
Yeah. So they're out of my size in the trail. That's the whole reason I selected the road. So I got the road. I'm happy with it. And to be honest, I think the bottom of the shoe is just fine for most trails.
Yeah.
And
so you haven't had any problems with that?
No, not yet. And I've been known to run in like Bondies, and if you know what a Bondi is, it doesn't have any grip at all on the bottom. So I'm okay with that. I think it's fine for right now. I think if you got on a super technical trail, you'd be a hurting puppy because there's just not enough, reinforcement there.
What about the upper?
The upper, man, the upper's killer. Look how big wide toe box, really breathable. The laces, for the most part, are staying tied. That's kind of been, a problem in the past with the Pearl Izumi shoes. I'm really digging it. I like it so far.
And then next up, the thing we wanted to talk about, and I got my hands on it just a couple of days ago, but it's the Spry 2.0.
Yep.
And I went the route of what they're calling the Lime edition.
Yeah.
So they made some really nice upgrades to their Spry. Obviously they've got the bungee in the back. Still got the same pocket in the back, but this bungee is going to be huge. Throw a jacket, throw even poles. If in the front, it's two larger pockets up here. Trying to do this here. So you got the two big, large pockets. You got the pills. Your little caplets or E-caps or whatever can still fit in there. The other side on the top, you've got the big zippered compartment. And one thing I didn't notice originally was next to the pockets, they've almost got these little elastic stash things where you can probably put your trash. You might stick an iPod in there, something even like a pill capsule thing.
Right.
And, then they had one ahead on they got that Max 02 sternum that snaps in, kind of gives you a little bounce for that. So that's one I'm looking forward to try. I don't know I'm going to try it yet. It'll probably just be on a training run.
You're not going to take it out this weekend?
It will hold one. I don't know. I mean, I'm on path this weekend because I'm not quite to the marathon distance. So I'm just doing the half, but it does hold a 1 liter hydration vest in the back. But I'm excited to try because I've really liked the Spry in the past, but I think with these added, that bungee to me, I don't know why I love bungees on my vest because I think you can just utilize them with a little bit more because you always got to pack more junk. So, I'll probably give it a go this week for sure.
That sounds good. So I think we covered
everything. You
ordered
the blue one.
Yeah, I got the blue one. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm pretty psyched about it. That should be here by Friday, and then I can take it out and give it a roll on Saturday. I know that we're advocating in the past not to try things on race days, but I'm really bad at listening to my own advice sometimes. So
yeah, it's usually how it works. Well, we got to try stuff, and what a better at. So that's kind of it for our quick little show. We wanted to get a hold of, Casey Stein answers questions, or Kurt Stein, sorry again. We also, with our last podcast, we had our little contest on there with naming a documentary or film about TrailManners. We had a few people come through. There's been some funny ones on that contest, so keep those rolling. And like Joe mentioned earlier, look forward to our show next week because it's with Aric Johnson. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to listen to it myself.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. That was awesome today.
So we're dialing this in. We're getting the Google Hangout down, so we'll have more coming that way. We got a few more guests we're going to be dialing up. So yeah, thanks for watching, and hope that answers some questions.